Hello everyone and welcome back to English Voice Stories. Get ready for an unbelievable tale today, one that proves sometimes the biggest heroes are the ones who don't even know they're being brave. This is a story of mistaken identity, hilarious chaos, and a simple man who accidentally saved a kingdom. Lean back, listen closely, and let the magic of storytelling begin. A long time ago, in a small village in the land of Brightwood, lived a poor potter named Clayton. Clayton worked hard every single day. He would dig up clay, shape it into beautiful pots and bowls, bake them in his oven, and then load them onto his trusty donkey. Every evening, he'd take his donkey and go to the city to sell his pottery. This was his simple, tough life. Even with all his hard work, life was a struggle for Clayton, but he was an honest man and never gave up. Now near Clayton's village was a thick, dark forest, and in this forest lived a ferocious lion. This lion was a terror for the villagers. It would often sneak into the village and hunt their livestock, sometimes even people. Fear spread through the village like wildfire. The villagers tried many times to catch the lion, but it was too cunning, too strong. It always escaped. Soon the people were so scared that they stopped going out after dark altogether. Clayton, busy with his daily routine, didn't pay much attention to the lion scare. He'd wake up early, get his clay, shape his pots, dry them in the sun, and bake them. Then in the evening, he'd head to the city market with his donkey. One evening after a very tiring day in the city, Clayton returned home. He was so exhausted that he forgot his usual routine. Normally, he'd put his donkey safely in the stable, but tonight he was too tired. He just tied the donkey to a tree in his small yard and went inside to sleep. Suddenly, a terrible storm hit the forest. The wind howled like a monster. Trees as big as houses were pulled from their roots and crashed to the ground. Lightning flashed, thunder roared. The whole forest trembled. The ferocious lion was out hunting when the storm started. But this storm was so terrifying that even the mighty lion got scared. It forgot about hunting and just wanted to find a safe place to hide. It ran and ran, trying to escape the wild wind and rain. Running blindly, the lion came close to the village. It saw an old, empty hut nearby. The hut had been empty for a long time. The lion thought, "This looks like the safest place from this crazy storm." So it quickly ran inside the hut and curled up in a corner. The loud noise of the rain and wind soon put the exhausted lion into a deep sleep. Back in the village, the loud rain woke Clayton up. "Oh no," he suddenly thought. "My poor donkey. It's tied outside in this terrible rain. It must be soaking wet." He jumped out of bed and rushed outside. But when he got to the tree, he was shocked. The donkey was gone. Only its rope was left on the ground, broken. Clayton panicked a little. "My donkey ran away," he thought. "It must have broken its rope to get out of the rain. But where would it go? It must have found some nearby hut to hide in." Thinking this, Clayton ran out into the storm, getting completely wet, searching for his missing donkey. He walked towards the forest edge, calling out, "Donkey, where are you?" After about an hour soaking wet and tired, he reached that old empty hut near the forest. The lightning still flashed now and then, giving quick bursts of light in the dark night. In one bright flash of lightning, Clayton saw a large animal sleeping near the hut's door. "Aha!" Clayton shouted with relief and happiness. "Found you! Found my donkey!" He was so happy to see a shape he thought was his donkey that he didn't look carefully in the dark. He didn't realize it wasn't his stubborn donkey, but the fearsome lion that had caused so much trouble in the village. The lion was still fast asleep because of the storm and its tiredness. Clayton was a bit angry at his donkey for running off. Without thinking twice, he walked up to the sleeping animal. "You stubborn donkey," he muttered. He gave the animal a few slaps on its head and back. The lion was suddenly woken up by the slaps. It was confused and terrified. Before it could react, Clayton quickly jumped onto its back. As soon as he was on its back, Clayton grabbed some of the mane tightly, thinking it was the donkey's rope. "Got you now," he said. Then, full of anger at his donkey, he shouted, You've become so stubborn and disobedient. How dare you break your rope and run away? Now you are so fearless that you run away from home in the dark and I have to run around in the forest for an hour looking for you." Clayton yelled, "Listen carefully. If you ever try to run away again, I'll mix poison in your food." When the lion heard this angry shouting and felt the man on its back, it was frozen with fear. Its heart pounded. It thought, "Oh no, this man is crazy. He caught me. If I don't do exactly what he says, he will really kill me." The best thing for the lion to do now was to obey this terrifying person riding on its back. It was still very dark, the rain was heavy, and lightning flashed. The lion, with Clayton on its back, started running back towards the village along the forest path. Inside, the lion was filled with terror. What kind of trouble have I gotten into? It could feel the rope-like grip around its neck and mane, strong and firm, but it was too scared to even move differently. Finally, the lion reached the old hut near the village edge. Clayton somehow managed to get the confused and scared lion inside his yard and tied it tightly to the tree with a thick chain. It was late, past midnight. Clayton was exhausted. He felt relieved that he had found his donkey. He went inside, feeling safe, and fell fast asleep. Morning came. The sun's first rays touched the village. People started coming out of their homes to start their day as usual. As they passed Clayton's house, they suddenly stopped. Their eyes grew wide. They stared at the tree in Clayton's yard. Just a few steps away, tied with a strong chain, was the ferocious lion, the same lion that had made their lives a nightmare. The villagers couldn't believe their eyes. For a few moments, they just stood there, frozen. Then someone finally shouted, "Look! It's the lion, the terrible lion, and it's tied up." Who tied it? In no time, the news spread like wildfire through the entire village. Clayton the Potter! He did it! Clayton caught the lion alive! The villagers rushed to Clayton's house, cheering and shouting his name. They praised his incredible bravery. Their greatest joy was that the lion that had eaten so many of their goats and buffaloes was finally caught. Their problem was solved forever. Clayton woke up to all the noise. He was confused. Why are people cheering? What did I do? He tried to tell them, "It's nothing special. I just caught my donkey and brought him home." But then he looked properly at the animal tied to his tree. In the daylight, there was no mistake. It wasn't his donkey. It was indeed the fearsome lion. Clayton was shocked. He finally understood why everyone was calling him a hero. He had accidentally caught the lion. Meanwhile, in the big palace of Brightwood, the king, King Theron, was very worried. The king of the neighboring country, King Gideon of the Ironclaw Kingdom, was very powerful. He wanted to take over parts of Brightwood by force. A war had started between the two kingdoms. Ironclaw soldiers attacked often. King Theron knew his soldiers were brave, but the enemy army was much, much bigger. He desperately needed a brave and skilled general, a leader who could command his army properly and drive the enemy away forever. He immediately called his ministers and army leaders to the palace. They discussed who could possibly lead the army. Suddenly, one of his ministers, Minister Victor, remembered the news from the village. He stood up excitedly and said, "Your Majesty, we don't need to search anymore. We have a true hero right here in our own kingdom." The king looked at him curious. "Who is he?" Minister Victor announced, "Your Majesty, it's none other than Clayton the Potter. He is the man who single-handedly caught the ferocious lion alive. A man so brave can surely lead our army and bring us victory." King Theron was impressed. He immediately sent a messenger to Clayton's house. When Clayton received the news that he was to become the army's general, he was completely stunned. He thought it was a joke. How could he, a simple potter who knew nothing about fighting, become a general? But he couldn't refuse the king's order. Feeling confused and a bit scared, he got ready and went to the royal palace. King Theron welcomed him with great honor and treated him like a very important guest. Then the king ordered him to come back to the court the next day. Clayton was completely overwhelmed. "What is happening to me?" he thought. "One day I'm a simple potter, the next I'm going to be a general? All this because of that donkey who turned into a lion." So the simple, uneducated potter Clayton was made the general of the army. He had never used a sword, never ridden a horse in battle. As soon as he got home, he looked at the tied-up lion and said angrily, "This is all your fault. If you had stayed a donkey, I'd still be making my pots. Now they've made me a general, and I know nothing." His wife smiled. "Don't blame the lion," she said gently. "It's not its fault. This is your destiny. Your luck has changed. Thank God for giving you such a high position. Don't lose heart. God will help you. This is the start of our good times." Clayton thought about it. She was right. He had no choice but to somehow handle this new big responsibility. The next day, General Clayton and his wife went to the royal palace. King Theron was very happy to see him and again showed him great honor. "General," the king said, "King Gideon of the Ironclaw Kingdom is constantly attacking our land. Though he fails each time, he is now preparing for a big war. Our army is ready, but we need a capable leader. Tomorrow morning, the enemy army will enter our land. You must take command of our army and teach the enemy a lesson they will never forget." King Theron had prepared a grand palace for General Clayton and his wife to live in. There was also a stable with a strong, fast black horse ready for him to ride into battle. But Clayton couldn't sleep that night. He was terribly worried because he had never ridden a horse before. He thought, "If I fall off, everyone will laugh at me. They'll say, 'Look at the general. He can't even stay on a horse.'" In the morning, he woke his wife, and they went to the stable. The horse was indeed beautiful and powerful. Clayton said nervously, "This horse is so tall. How will I ever get on it?" His wife, who was clever, had an idea. "Put a table next to the horse and climb onto it," she suggested. "Then try to get onto its back." Clayton did as she said. He struggled to get onto the table, and then somehow managed to get onto the horse's back. But he felt the saddle was very slippery. He panicked. "Tie my feet tightly to the stirrups," he cried to his wife. "I don't want to fall off on the way." His wife found a strong rope and tied his feet tightly to the stirrups. Then she passed the rope under the horse's belly and tied the two stirrups together. This would help Clayton keep his balance. After that, she did something else clever. She tied her husband's waist tightly to the saddle so he absolutely couldn't fall off. "Now," said Clayton, still scared, "tie my hands to the horse's neck too, just to be completely safe." But before his wife could do that, the horse, eager to get out of the stable, suddenly gave a strong jump and bolted outside. It ran off at lightning speed. Poor Clayton was now stuck on the horse's back like a sack of potatoes. He was only saved from falling by the ropes. He grabbed the horse's neck tightly in panic and started praying to God. "Oh God, you made me a general from a simple man. Now my honor and the safety of this kingdom are in your hands. I am just an uneducated, weak man. Please help me with your mercy and save my life." The black horse ran like lightning. It sped through the city streets, breaking through wooden gates, and ran out into the open fields towards the battlefield. It jumped over rivers and rough paths, and Clayton, held by the ropes, just tried desperately to stay alive. Now General Clayton's horse was racing towards the enemy camps. He realized the horse was heading straight for the enemy. He tried desperately to stop it, but it was useless. As the horse ran past a large tree, Clayton grabbed a thick branch, thinking it would help him stop the horse. But he grabbed it with such force that the branch snapped off in his hand. Outside the enemy camps, an enemy soldier saw this incredible sight. He saw a rider coming towards them at amazing speed, breaking off thick tree branches as he passed. The soldier was terrified. He thought, "This must be that general who caught the lion. Now he's coming for us, and the way he's breaking branches, he'll break us too." Fear gripped the soldier's heart. He started shouting, "Run! Save yourselves! This is no ordinary man. He looks like a demon. If he starts breaking our bones like those branches, we're finished." As he looked behind him, he saw General Clayton's army following. This made his panic even worse. He screamed louder, "Run! Run! The general who caught a live lion is coming with a huge army to attack us. If their leader is this powerful, what will happen to us?" Hearing this, the enemy soldiers trembled with fear. They quickly got on their horses and ran away to save their lives. Their king, King Gideon, was in his camp watching the situation. When he saw his army suddenly turning back and running in panic, he was shocked. The battle was lost before it even started. Seeing defeat certain, King Gideon quickly wrote a letter asking for peace and left it in his camp. Then he got on his horse and ran away after his army, too scared to even look back. Meanwhile, when General Clayton's horse reached near the enemy camp, it suddenly stopped. Clayton, with shaky hands, managed to get his feet out of the stirrups, and as he tried to get down, he fell heavily to the ground. It was God's grace that no one saw him fall like that, or his secret would have been out. He looked around. No enemy soldiers were visible. They had all run away. He saw the letter in the enemy king's tent. He picked it up and put it in his pocket. After that, General Clayton started walking back home on foot. On the way, people saw him and bowed respectfully. Everyone was talking about his bravery, but Clayton was only worried about his aching body. As soon as he got home, he took the letter from his pocket and gave it to his wife. "Take this letter to King Theron," he said, "and listen carefully. God saved my honor, but I will never ever sit on a horse's back again in my life. Tell the king that the enemy has run away in fear and will never dare to look at our country again. I don't know what's written in this letter. Just give it to the king. And please let me sleep now. My body is aching all over. That horse broke every bone in me." Saying this, Clayton took a deep breath and fell onto his bed, falling into a peaceful sleep. The potter who became a general, Clayton's wife, took the letter to the royal palace. When King Theron read the enemy, King Gideon's letter asking for peace, he was overjoyed. He praised his new general highly. "Where is your husband now?" King Theron asked. Clayton's wife bowed respectfully and replied, "Your Majesty, he is very tired and resting at home. If you command, I will wake him and send him to you." King Theron smiled. "No, there is no need to wake him now. Let him rest. Send him to us in the morning. We will reward him properly." Clayton's wife bowed again and left. The next morning, General Clayton walked from his home to the royal palace. People lined the streets of the entire city to welcome him. The streets were decorated with colorful flags. Everyone was talking about his bravery. Some said, "Look how humble our general is. Instead of riding a horse, he's walking to the palace." Another said, "He's our hero. He drove the enemy away all by himself." When Clayton reached the royal palace, King Theron received him with great honor and made him sit beside him. They talked for a while. After that, the king gave Clayton many rewards. Peace returned to the country. The people were happy and prosperous. The enemy King Gideon never dared to attack again. And that is how a simple potter, Clayton, became immortal as a general, all because of his unexpected luck and a lot of accidental bravery. Wow, what an adventure! The story of Clayton the Potter reminds us that sometimes the most amazing things happen when we least expect them. And hey, did you know that listening to fun stories like this is a fantastic way to learn and improve your English? You hear new words, understand how sentences work, and practice your listening, all while enjoying a great tale. So why not listen to this story one more time? Try to understand a little more each time. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, please give us a thumbs up. It helps us a lot. And make sure to subscribe to English Voice Stories so you don't miss our next exciting adventure and another chance to learn English the fun way. What was your favorite part of the story? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and keep practicing your English. See you next time.